All right, you fuckers, buckle up. We're going deep on this crazy shit. Honda and Nissan, those two Japanese bad boys, merging into one megacorp.
This ain't no love story, though.
Nah, it's a fucking power move. Those Chinese car companies are coming in hot and heavy. Honda and Nissan are joining forces to fight back.
So they're shitting themselves, huh? Think they can handle the heat.
They gotta try. The Chinese are flooding the market with EVs, man. This merger is all about pooling resources, tech, everything to stay in the game.
Sounds as one hell of a showdown. But hold up, let's back the fuck up. What are these two companies all about anyway? I know Honda makes cars, but motorcycles too, right?
They've been the biggest motorcycle manufacturer since '59, man. They've cranked out over 400 million bikes. That's insane.
Holy shit, that's more bikes than people in America. And it doesn't stop there, right? They make like everything. Robots, lawnmowers, even a goddamn jet.
Honda's always pushing the limits, always innovating. They're like a bunch of mad scientists with a need for speed. All right, so Honda's the wild child, the overachiever. What about Nissan? All I remember is that shitty Datsun my grandpa drove.
Datsun was just Nissan's export brand. They've got a crazy history, too, working with Ford, Alfa Romeo, even making electric cars back in '46.
No shit. They were making EVs before Tesla even existed. Damn, those guys were ahead of the curve.
Yeah, they were. They've got a ton of experience with electric tech, which is huge these days.
So we got Honda, the motorcycle maniac with a jet on the side, and Nissan, the OG electric gangster. Together, they're like some kind of Frankenstein monster of car-making badassery.
That's one way to put it. This merger has some serious potential, that's for sure.
All right, let's get down to business. When's this shit actually going down? What's the timeline?
No exact date yet, but they're definitely moving forward. Tons of paperwork, regulations, pissed off shareholders. It's a big fucking deal.
Yeah, I bet those board meetings are a total shit show right now. All those executives arguing over who gets the bigger office and who's calling the shots.
Probably not that dramatic, but I'm sure there's a lot going on behind the scenes.
So we got the pressure from those Chinese companies.
Right.
And we got a glimpse into the history of these two crazy companies. But what everyone really wants to know is, what kind of crazy-ass cars are they going to make? Flying cars, robot chauffeurs. Give us the juicy shit.
Hold your horses. We'll get into all those details next time. But trust me, it's going to be wild. So you want to know what kind of Franken car this mega company is going to spit out?
Let's get into the nuts and bolts. We're talking about a research budget that could make a small country jealous. What crazy shit can they cook up with that kind of dough?
Both Honda and Nissan have been pushing the limits, but in different ways. Take Honda, for example. They're all about robotics. Their Asimo robot, that thing's a goddamn masterpiece.
Hold on, robots?
Yeah.
Like those creepy humanoid things in those sci-fi movies?
Exactly. But it ain't just for show. Honda sees robotics as a big part of their future. Imagine their cars using that robot tech. Cars that can do more than just drive themselves. Cars that can help you with shit, like carrying groceries or even keeping you company.
A car that brings me beer and tells dirty jokes? Sign me the fuck up. Seriously, though, that's some next-level shit. What about Nissan? What's their specialty?
Nissan's all about electric cars. Remember, they were making EVs back in '46, way before Tesla was even a thought. They know electric powertrains like the back of their hand.
Okay, so we got robots and electric cars. Put them together, what do you get? A RoboCop car.
Maybe a revolution in how we get around. Think about it. A self-driving electric car. No more traffic jams, parks itself, charges wirelessly. It's not just a car, it's like an extension of your living room.
Dude, that's straight out of the Jetsons. But come on, we're still years away from flying cars, right?
Maybe not as far as you think.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget, Honda makes jets too. I'm not saying we'll be commuting in flying cars tomorrow, but you never know what they might come up with.
Holy shit, flying cars. This is getting crazy. But let's get back to reality for a second. What does this merger mean for the rest of the car industry? Are they going to shit a brick?
It's definitely a wake-up call for everyone else. This new company is a behemoth. They're going to have to step up their game to survive. We're not talking about friendly competition here. This is a fight to the death.
So it's like a game of automotive musical chairs. Whoever's left standing when the music stops wins the whole damn market.
It's more like a demolition derby. Everyone's crashing into each other, trying to get the biggest piece of the pie. This merger shows that the old guard is changing, evolving, fighting back against the new kids on the block.
Shit's about to get real, huh?
Definitely. The whole industry's changing. Electric cars, self-driving cars, new companies like Tesla and those Chinese guys. It's a whole new ballgame.
Right.
This merger could change everything. How cars are made, what people buy, even how we get around in the future.
Okay, so we talked robots, electric cars, flying cars, and a global car war. But before we wrap up, let's talk about the potential downsides of this mega merger. What if this whole thing backfires? What could go wrong? It can't all be sunshine and roses, right?
Merging two giants like Honda and Nissan, that's a shit ton of work. Each company has its own way of doing things, its own culture. You're going to have clashing egos, conflicting priorities. It could be a total disaster.
So this whole thing could blow up in their faces. Two titans crashing and burning in a fiery explosion of bureaucracy.
Maybe not that dramatic, but there are risks. Those cultural differences can be a real bitch to overcome. Integrating two workforces, two management styles, even two design philosophies. That's a hell of a challenge.
It's like trying to mix oil and water, right? Shake it up all you want, it'll always separate in the end.
Pretty much. You need strong leadership, a clear vision, and a whole lot of luck to make something like this work. If they don't get it right, you'll see infighting, a loss of focus, and ultimately a weaker company.
So it's a gamble. They could create a global superpower, or they could end up with a Frankenstein's monster that's too big and clunky to function.
That's the big question, isn't it? No guarantees. It all comes down to execution. They need to adapt to the market, which is changing faster than ever these days.
And let's not forget the competition. The Chinese, Tesla, all those other companies are breathing down their necks. It's like trying to steer a goddamn aircraft carrier through a hurricane.
For sure, but that's what makes this whole thing so damn interesting. We're watching history in the making. This merger could change everything about the car industry, from the cars we drive to the way we live our lives.
All right, you magnificent bastards, that's the bottom line. This Honda-Nissan merger is a wild ride, full of potential and pitfalls. We'll just have to wait and see what kind of monster they create.
One thing's for sure, it's going to be one hell of a show. So grab some popcorn, buckle up, and enjoy the ride.
Stay curious, you magnificent bastards. And watch out for those flying cars.